For the simple fact that, hence the reason why, whenever I put out a pre-recorded video, because now I'm not doing my videos lively on TikTok anymore. So TikTok, cannot refuse to accept my pre-recorded videos, even though last night the bitch ass is trying to tell me that one of my videos that I made yesterday afternoon talk about the original sound. What the fuck? Like, I posted another video and I reposted the same videos that they told me that the original sound wasn't it. Like, how the fuck you want me to sound? Just like everybody else? Fuck out of here, my nigga. This is the reason why I made the analogy, If you think about it, Malcolm X made the analogy back in the days during the Kennedy days and said the chicken's coming home to rooster. And before they cancel a lot of my platforms on TikTok, I kept making the analogy of the roosters coming home to the farmers. Now, the reason why I said the roosters coming home to the farmers is the same reason why these content creators are bashing each other, for the same reasons why people are doing a lot of these fads, these challenges on TikTok, because they're doing a lot of shit and degrading themselves for likes and for views. And the roosters coming home to farmers, it's not the original farmers that used to farm the land anymore, because the original farmers that used to farm the land realized, just like back in the days, back in the days, they used to try to fight us with physical form. Hence the reason why the golden age happened the way it happened, to the Bronze Age, to the Silver Age, without going too much into details. When they realized that they couldn't beat us physically, what they do? They enslaved us. And by enslaving us, they took all that knowledge and put it into a book. Because by enslaving us and by taking all the educated ones that knew the knowledge and they enslaved them too, that means that they leave the masses that were still in the sleeping state to not know anything. Hence the reason why you have the analogy of saying that if you want to hide the truth to the general masses, you put it in a book. Because there's a lot of people out there that read or that see things, but they can't really decipher things because they're not operating in the mindset that they need to operate in order for them to see the truth. They're looking at things from the surface level because that's what they were being taught, to look at things on a surface level. Hence the reason why when we're in school, they always like to tell us, don't color outside the box. That's another form of mental programming, by telling us not to color outside the box. Because once you realize that you could color outside the box, yeah, the shape might be all fucked up, but if you're a good artist, you could fix that shape. You could turn that shape into something else to your liking, not to what everybody else is trying to tell you or trying to make you act upon. You follow? Now, without going too much into details, we'll talk about being a follower. Now, don't get me wrong. Everybody follows. Now, what do I mean by everybody follows? Everybody follows. Think about it. Your parents did not know everything, right? So that means your grandparents had to teach your parents and how to act and how to behave, the moral values, the ethics, and so on and so forth that they got from their great-grandparents. So everything trickled down. So if you trickle down nothing but generational trauma and curses, what do you think is going to continue to trickle down from generations to generations? That generational trauma, that generational curse. Hence the reason why I said the roosters coming home to farmers, it's not the actual regular farmers that are mining these farm field. It's the parents and the grandparents and the great-grandparents, based on what they were being taught. And the fact that they were being taught certain things, they passed it down to the generations, to the generations, to the generations. And by passing down all this generational curse, now you become the farmer to that farm, now to your actual kids. Hence the reason why right now we have a whole bunch of generations and a whole bunch of lineage right now that really don't care much about their histories, about their past. All they care about is, what can you do for me right now? Or what have you done for me lately? And with that type of mentality, the only thing that you're doing to yourself is you're bringing yourself further and further and closer to that farmland that eventually that's going to decapitate your head, just like my ancestors did to the so-called greatest general, Napoleon Bonaparte, and the 1804 revolution. But of course, when you got snakes in the grass, even with a revolution, you're never going to continue to enhance that revolution to a higher status quo. Hence the reason why they said Haiti's revolution was propaganded. We'll sit on that for a second. Because you and I both know Haiti is the only country that ever had a successful revolution. Not that bitch ass American 1776. And not the so-called revolution that fucking England had from back in the days. Because, you know, they were dethroned as well. Hence the reason why they had the Dark Ages. But hey, like I said, I'm not here to educate the enemy. So now, everybody follows. Goes back to what I was saying, everybody follows. When you start a job, you follow. And the reason why I said you follow is because, you know, every job, just like that mental Bible manual that they have established for centuries and centuries. Here we go. This fucking bike motherfucker. Now they got a new person across the street with a bike. Like I give a fuck. But like I was saying, right? Everybody follows. And the reason why everybody follows is because, you know, you don't know everything. Hence, when you start a new job, depending on the job, you have to shadow somebody, right? You shadow a senior manager, or depending on your level, you shadow a senior executive, or you shadow a senior leader that's been doing it for a while. But a lot of individuals, because they've been doing a lot of shit for a while, they tend to add their own little nick into it. And because they kind of like perfect their own bullshit, they feel like everybody got to walk through their own bullshit in order for you to succeed in life. Because if you don't follow the bullshit that I'm trying to tell you, then you're never going to get to the level that I'm trying to get to. Motherfucker, fuck you. Hence the reason why, like I said, I'm a force to be reckoned with. I am. Because I really don't give a fuck about society's standard. Because that shit is all man-made. The only standard that I actually stand on is the primordial standard. The creatress, Salutame. And that's a duality. It's not a he, it's not a she, it's a duality. Because inside every one of us, we have a duality. We have feminine, we have masculinity. And if you don't know that, then get to learn it, that shit. Like I said, if you guys were following me from, you know, beginning of this year with my lives, with my TikTok platforms that they canceled so many times, you would have seen that I did a lot of these fucking segments on this shit that I'm talking about right now. However, in this timeline, I'm not here to educate the enemy. I'm not here to awaken anybody. Because if you haven't been awoken from every shit that I've been talking about, then you got to go do your own due diligence. Do your due diligence. Come sit down and have a parlay with me. Like I've been asking, you know, the parliament or people of scholar, because since they claim that the knowledge that I have is not real knowledge because I didn't get it from a fucking mental institutional college or university. Yeah, somebody from the Cambridge school, whatever the fuck y'all want to call yourself, theologists. Come challenge me in the actual history of distortion. Come. You know, we could sit down. We could see how you guys fucked up. And we could try to put shit back together the way it's supposed to be. Because at some point, if y'all motherfuckers don't do so, y'all gonna start experiencing some shit that you guys are not going to like. And you guys are going to be starting to realize that, oh shit, this motherfucker Francois, Ugan Shengo Ugante, he's carrying the same swords that Jesus carrying from back in the days when they stuck him with 12 disciples. 12 disciples? Bullshit. The number 12. You see all that shit tied up all together? If you know, you know. I'm just saying.